in game. Shooting 25 shots in a row in practice is different than getting your 4 looks in a game and not being able to knock them down and having the confidence to continue shooting them. So I think just getting the opportunity in that second half of the season and seeing them go in and then continuing to get those open looks really just fed that confidence. And I think that hot streak towards the end.
I couldn't even face my teammates anymore. We just wanted it all to end. These raw words from Lexie Hull have sent shockwaves through the WNBA. In a stunning new interview, Hull finally opens up about the Indiana Fever's dramatic 2024 season with Caitlin Clark. How did a team once written off as underdogs transform into championship contenders? What was it about Hull's connection with Clark that left everyone talking? From locker room secrets to team drama and the truth behind their epic comeback, Hull pulls back the curtain on what really happened. You won't believe the untold story of this unforgettable season.
The numbers support it. We obviously know it is a truism, but even last year, where the numbers were not where you wanted them to be, when you played 10 to 19 minutes, you shot 11% from 3. When you played 20 to 29, it was 22%. You played north of 30 minutes, you were 33%. You were finding it as you went. And then obviously you've elevated all of those levels in the process. Was there a moment that, when you're talking to Christy Sides early on, where you're being told, I am going to get more of this playing time, more of this opportunity? And does that help feed your confidence as well?
The 2024 season began as nothing short of a nightmare for the Indiana Fever. Lexie Hull leans back in her chair, takes a deep breath, and recounts the grueling start to their journey. 11 games in just 20 days, it still sounds unbelievable even now, she says, shaking her head. This wasn't just a tough schedule, it was the most brutal stretch the WNBA had faced in over 2 decades, dating back to 2003.
I mean, honestly, I can't really pinpoint a moment. It was, I think, just I was given a chance in the game and I hit a couple early ones and then you get a couple more minutes and you hit another one and you get a couple more minutes. So it wasn't ever like I was told you're going to be playing today, make sure you take advantage of it. It was just, when you're sitting on that bench and you don't know when your number is going to be called, and when it finally is called, just trying to take advantage of it. And I was just happy that the ball went in.
We'd get back to the hotel at 2 a.m. after a game, and guess what? Another game the very next night, Lexie Hull recalls. The team was running on fumes, with barely enough time to review footage, let alone practice. The physical toll was obvious: ice packs, endless visits to the training room, and exhaustion etched on every face in the locker room. But the mental strain? That was even harder. Hull's voice softens as she reflects on those tough moments. You start doubting everything, your shots aren't landing, your legs feel like lead, and the losses just keep stacking up. It messes with your head. The Fever's record plummeted to 2-11, leaving fans and the media wondering if the team could ever bounce back.
Do you know what you shot from 3? You shot 66.7% from 3. When you went out there, there's no such thing as tired legs in that scenario. You are 2 and 3. No one does that. No one does. I mean, it's just incredible.
The pressure was overwhelming. Every missed shot felt like a personal failure, and every loss added another layer of doubt. Lexie Hull remembers one night vividly. I was alone in the gym after a tough loss, just trying to find my rhythm. My three-point percentage had dropped to 11%, and I couldn't figure out why. In college at Stanford, I was known for my shooting. Now, I couldn't even buy a basket. Coach Christy Sides saw the team falling apart behind the scenes. So, she called a meeting, one that would change everything. Hull leans forward, her eyes lighting up as she shares this untold story. Coach didn't yell. She didn't give us some dramatic, movie-style speech. Instead, she did something none of us expected. She listened for 3 hours. Players opened up. Veterans shared stories of surviving tough seasons. Rookies admitted fears of not being good enough. It was like a weight was lifted off our shoulders, Hull recalls. We realized we weren't alone. The next day, everything started to shift. Practices felt different. Instead of dwelling on mistakes, the team celebrated small wins: a strong defensive stop, a perfect pass, a teammate offering support after a misstep. Coach Sides told us to stop focusing on the scoreboard and start focusing on each other, Hull explains. Clyop 5. May 25, 2024, the game that changed everything. The Indiana Fever were up against the Las Vegas Aces, the league's powerhouse. Nobody thought they stood a chance. Lexie Hull wasn't even expected to play significant minutes. But then, something extraordinary happened. The first three-pointer went in, and it just felt different, Hull recalls, mimicking her shooting form. The second one? Swish. The third? Nothing but net. By the time she sank her fourth, the crowd was on its feet, roaring. Hull had rediscovered her rhythm and her confidence. What followed was one of the most incredible comebacks in WNBA history. Hull's shooting stats told the story. She soared from a dismal 11% to an incredible 47.1% from three-point range. When coach gave me more minutes, everything just clicked. She explains the numbers were staggering. In games where Hull played over 30 minutes, she shot an unbelievable 66.7% from beyond the arc. It was the spark that reignited the Fever's season and Hull's career.
When did you know that it was finally going to click for you? I mean, yeah, you hit 4 threes early on in the year, on May 25th against Las Vegas. There were signs early on that you were finding it. This before you even were starting. Was there a moment where it felt like this was finally happening? And again, was there any sort of off-season change? Was there anything that you were doing differently that helped this happen? Or does the ball just start going through the hoop for you?
But the stats were only half the story. The real transformation happened behind the scenes. Hull reveals the team's secret weapon, midnight practices. After games, when most teams were asleep, we were in the gym, she shares. Coach Sides would roll out the balls and say, "Show me you want it." These late-night sessions became legendary. Veterans stayed to mentor rookies, while players who weren't getting minutes pushed the starters in scrimmages. Slowly, the team built something special, signals only they understood, inside jokes, and a chemistry that extended far beyond basketball. That's when everything changed, Hull says. We stopped being just teammates. We became a family.
I think for me, we have some incredible playmakers on our team and incredible people that can get you the ball when you're open and create advantages. And so me being one of those people that I'm spacing the floor and I need to knock down those shots. So not only, holding myself accountable to do that as my role and hit those open looks, but also being able to stand up for my teammates and say, thank you. You're doing the work, you're doing the hard work, and I'll be here and I'll knock it down when I need to.
The 2024 season for the Indiana Fever started as a grind, but it turned into something extraordinary. Lexie Hull reflects on those tough early weeks, brutal schedules, late-night practices, and a team struggling to find its identity. But behind the scenes, they were building something remarkable, finding strength in adversity. Hull recalls the turning point vividly. We were down 15 in the fourth quarter against Chicago. In the past, we might have given up, but this time, our bench was louder than ever. We lost that game, but we fought until the buzzer. That's when I knew we were different. Coach Christy Sides introduced a new tradition after every game. Each player shared one thing they were proud of and one lesson learned. It sounds simple, but it shifted our mindset, Hull explains. They stopped focusing on failures and started celebrating progress. The game changer. Everything clicked on May 25, 2024, when the Fever faced the Las Vegas Aces. No one gave them a chance. Hull, not even slated for major minutes, found her rhythm. Shot after shot fell, igniting the crowd and her confidence. That game was a turning point for me and the team, she shares. Her shooting surged from 11% to an astonishing 47.1% from beyond the arc, symbolizing the Fever's resurgence. Enter Caitlin Clark. Then came the arrival of Caitlin Clark, and everything changed. Hull describes the moment vividly. The energy in the gym was unreal, media everywhere, fans crowding the windows. Playing with Caitlin was an adjustment. She'd make passes I didn't even see coming. But once we synced, it was magic. Clark's presence transformed the Fever on and off the court. Defenders swarmed her, creating space for Hull and others to thrive. Hull's shooting opportunities soared, and her confidence grew. Coach Stephanie White encouraged her to think bigger, stop playing like a role player. Be aggressive. Take your shot. Building something special. The Fever weren't just winning games, they were forging a new identity. Midnight practices turned into precision drills, team dinners became bonding sessions, and traditions kept them grounded under the bright lights of the national stage. Coach White told us, pressure is a privilege. It means we matter, Hull says. The team embraced that mindset, turning early struggles into fuel for success. Looking ahead now, with Clark and Hull leading the way, the Fever are no longer content with improvement, they're eyeing championships. We're not just here to compete anymore, Hull declares. We believe we can win it all, from almost quitting to becoming one of the WNBA's most lethal shooters. Lexie Hull's journey is a story of resilience and transformation. As the Fever's chemistry deepens, they're ready to shock the league. What do you think? Can the Fever take it all in 2025? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insider stories from the WNBA.